If you're a mortgage broker feeling overwhelmed or stuck in admin or constantly fighting your day, this episode is going to slap you in the face with some clarity. I'm going to break down the exact daily systems I use myself and also teach my clients that have helped brokers scale without burnout. And once you hear it, hopefully, I really do hope this, you'll never look at your diary the same way again. Come on. Let's dive straight into it. So the first one is use the 3-3-3 method. So this is 3 hours of deep work, 3 hours of client facing, and then 3 hours of maintenance, giving you a 9-hour working day. Now, first of all, if you are a broker and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to do 9 hours a day, then you're probably in the wrong job at this beginning. 9 hours a day is probably standard. So what do I mean by 3 hours of deep work? Well, the first thing with deep work is working on the business. So working on your business through marketing. And this is what I normally do at the beginning of the day. So this would be get into the beginning of the day and work on that business. So marketing, processes. How are you skilling up? Are you learning CPD? Now, CPD is one of these words that you see brokers throw around that they hate. It's like, because we have to do it. But really, seeing CPD as a you get to do as opposed to you have to do changes everything, because it's actually what makes you a better advisor. But spending your time on that, are you making content? Are you increasing your systems and processes, improving automations? On the business work is important, and 3 hours of that deep work, it feels like a lot. It's not a lot. If you want to actually grow your business, you can't just be fighting fires all the time. Then you have these 3 hours of client facing. So if you are doing client meetings, realistically, client calls, you can take those client calls for a 3-hour chunk. So 3 back-to-back calls. If you wanted to, you could split this up into different ways, but having 3 hours every single day towards client-facing meetings is important. That gives you time to be communicating with clients and going back and forth. Most people are going to speak to them for about an hour. You might be 45 minutes. If your appointments are taking you longer than an hour, you probably need to look at yourself and look at your process again and go, what can I do differently here? But that is then you're giving the time for the client. And then in the final 3 hours that you have available to you, you can use that for maintenance, which is administration, which is getting the cases done and packaging the cases. So this is the 3-3-3 method. It's very, very powerful, very useful. It could actually be 1 hour of deep work, 1 hour of client work, 1 hour of admin, and again, 3 rotations of that. You can do it however you want. That's actually how I do mine, in that kind of rotation. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So make it work around your diary. But having those 3 equal parts to your day is going to make your day much more productive than spending the entire day dealing with clients or the entire day dealing with administration work. And we are business owners at the end of the day. You might want to spend an entire day on your business. I don't advise that, because you have to pay your bills. And so if you're taking days out, complete days out of your business so that you can make it better, it's not sustainable. The 3-3-3 method is super useful for brokers who are looking to try and grow and sustain growth in their business. Second one we have is time block like a maniac. So allocate specific time slots for your tasks throughout the day. Put them in your calendar and stick to them. So this, as we've said on this point before, you've got these 3-3-3 methods that you can use, which is the one that I use myself, but you then need to make sure you put it in your diary. And time blocking is huge. I would be lost without time blocking. My diary looks like a rainbow. It's color coordinated, everything. I know when I look at it, what I'm doing. If you are one of those people who is reacting to your diary, you're just going, oh, I've got some space. And I see it with some clients. I'll get them on a call and I'll say, can you show me a diary? We bring up the diary and it's just an open space with people just booked in randomly. That's terrible. I can show me a diary and I'll show you how successful you're going to be in business. It's genuinely that simple. You want to look at your diary and start to create time blocks within that. So allocate those times, allocate that deep work, allocate that administration work, allocate those client meetings or those slots available for your booking links to be able to book in for client meetings like your calendar leads and things like that. If you have those available slots, they will only reach those points. Make it very clear. Now, this is the thing with this one. If you do not stick to it though, it won't work. I have worked with many brokers over the years, and one thing that I have seen is the ones that are successful stick to it. But many people, we can make a lovely, glossy and optimized calendar, but if they're not sticking to that calendar in the way it works, it doesn't work. And I have had many people who I work with to do that, where they speak to me again and they're like, oh yeah, kind of really stressed. I'm thinking, well, we definitely did your time blocking. We definitely spent a session on that and building it all out and actually doing it for you. You're not sticking to it. You need to stick to it. I follow my diary like a religion. I know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it. It's that important. I follow my diary. I follow my task management, everything. If it's blocked into my diary, I'm getting it done. If it's not in my diary, it's not getting done. It's really that binary. So start time blocking and stick to it. It will absolutely revolutionize your business and your productivity, and your stress levels as well will just drop down as a broker. Brings you on to number 3, which is banish distractions. You don't suck at focusing. You've just built an environment that makes it feel impossible. Turn off the phones. Mute emails at incoming. Turn off notifications. I use do not disturb on my phones all the time. I actually, for myself, depending on if I'm in deep work or not, my do not disturb is on so that people can't message me. There is so many things you can use and tools you can use to eliminate those distractions. I work in a blacked out room. This entire room is purely built for content, for my business, for content creation, for coaching, for consulting, all of that stuff. There is no window. There's a door with a window that has a blackout blind across it. It's nearly always dark. It's soundproofed. I can't see the distractions. And my phone, like I said, most of the time is on do not disturb or airplane mode. And that allows me to never really have to be dealing with all of those constant distractions. And then I allocate time, obviously, within that, in those maintenance times to be able to pick up those messages before. But I do not allow myself to get sucked in. That's the hardest bit. If you are multitasking or getting distracted by things because the phone's going or the client, and that's my biggest one I actually like with this, do not take, and I think this is really quite an important one, that many advisors don't do this, but this was a lesson I learned and it really helped, was I don't take phone calls. And the advisors I work with who don't take phone calls are always way more productive. And the reason is I don't take phone calls because when someone is calling me, it's actually quite rude, because what they're saying is, you are somebody that they think their time, is more important than whatever it is you're doing. Their problem is more important than what you're doing right now. And so you are, by answering that call, you're actually acknowledging and actually agreeing with their train of thought. Whereas actually, by not answering calls, and this is why with clients I communicate everything through WhatsApp, and it's also why I tell my clients to communicate their stuff through WhatsApp, voice notes, you can send videos across, anything like that. But if you're getting distracted by messages coming in, you're never going to get anything done, ever. So don't think about it like that. Get yourself out of distractions, create an environment where you're not in distractions. Big one with this as well, like I said, is a working environment. If you're working in your office, make your office about work. I would love to sit in here and watch YouTube videos and all that type of stuff, but I don't. My home is my home. My works. I even have a laptop in here and then a laptop for in the house, which is a light work laptop. I do work in there, but it's a light work. It's very light, doesn't have the same capabilities. I don't have it. They're very separate. And so that laptop is there just to kind of surf the internet, do what I need to do. If I need to answer some emails, it's there, but it's really very minimal. Distractions are the most important thing. This laptop doesn't even play Netflix. There's a blocker on it that I put on it that stops it from even playing any form of entertainment. That's how just to restrict and disciplined you need to get with it. Number 4 we have is set absurdly clear goals. So instead of working on marketing, for example, create 5 Instagram reels. Clarity removes the intimidation factor of starting a task. Very crystal clear goals are the biggest thing ever, most important thing ever. I actually, and I've got this on my phone right now, you'll be able to see I have Microsoft To Do. I use Microsoft To Do all the time. And on the screen, if you're watching this, you'll see a list of things I have to do. There's a list of things I've done already that have already been ticked off, and there's a list of things that have to be done. These are super specifically clear. When I say absurdly clear, they are that level of clarity of what I need to do, even down to my workout, my care with my kids, everything is on those, and they are very clear. It's not just like workout, it's literally 2 minutes of this. It's like a workout program. And I have that for everything. Create four reels, create these things, every step of everything I need to do to turn the YouTube video into like fully optimized YouTube video on every platform. All of these things are in there. Absurdly clear goals get done, but unclear goals don't. If it's just work out, then I'm going to go, okay, well, I kind of went for a nice walk today. If it's, respond to clients, well, what does that mean? Whereas if it is answer all WhatsApp messages, great. Clear inbox, email inbox by the end of the day, which I don't think is always a good idea, but like clear the inbox end of the day, great. Clear stuff, very clear. Not, I'm going to do customer admin, client admin, work on some cases, but I'm going to get John Smith's mortgage packaged, ready to go. I'm going to get the documents all uploaded, get it very clear. And also what happens is when you do these clear goals, it makes it easier, as I said, it makes it easier to see, it's actually doable. And it also releases dopamine and makes you feel like you're achieving stuff. Every single day, this is just a repeatable list that I've said on here, just a repeatable list. There's literally some of the most ridiculously basic stuff. Brush my teeth with my kids, my son, because he needs to be reminded to brush his teeth. All these little things, create a YouTube video, work out, chase a specific client to do videos. I've got, take my medication, make sure I stretch, which has got the workout in it. I've got record a podcast, which is what I'm currently doing right now. I'll do my midday workout, which is 30 pull-ups, 30 squats, 30 dips, go for a 20-minute walk, listen to an audiobook for 30 minutes. These things, I know when they're on there, they're so clear, but they move the needle forward. And I finish the end of my day, and I'm always like, gosh, I've done so much, because it's clear. Whereas if it was like, be a really productive person, work as hard as I can, that's not enough. So get really, really, really granular on those goals, and you will see you get more productive, and you'll also feel better because you'll be winning the day more. And if you win the day, you'll win the week. And if you win the week, you will win the year. And if you win the year, you win your life. And so you need to look at it in that way. Next thing we have is work in sprints. So if you lock in, set a timer, there is real power in committing time to one task and seeing it through. So I love a timer. I'm a big timer user for myself. And what I do, I use my phone. I did have the dial timer that everyone has, but again, my phone is like a brick pretty much during the day. So I use my phone for it, but there is a dial timer you can spin. And I like to do a timed work for what I know I'm going to be doing. So for example, with me, to make a YouTube video, my goal is to try and make a YouTube video from start to finish, from scripting to recording to editing to uploading. I want to do that in about 30 minutes. So I set a 30-minute timer, and I get it done in 30 minutes. The timer allows me to keep pace. It's gamification with myself. Plus, it allows me to know that that's how much we know that that's how long it takes. It's not an unrealistic timer. I know it takes about 30 minutes. If it ekes out to 40, 45, it's because I've got distracted. But if there's a timer there, there's that pressure there, things get done. I do this the same when I go to client meetings. I can very easily overrun. I love to chat, and I love to learn more about my clients and get to know them. One of the things that I've really started to focus on is they come for an hour, we need to give them an hour. Try and get the hour done. Or an hour and 10 if it needs to be for wrapping it up either way, and a little bit of chit chat at the beginning. But I find that quite hard because I love to get to know my clients, and I also love to give more value. But as we do these things, they are going to bleed into others. And that's the same thing with you. If you're speaking for it, if you've got an hour for a discovery call, get it done in an hour. Have it timed. Have a little timer on your phone. There's time in it. You don't even need to have it as a timer that pings at the end. It can be a stopwatch just showing you are going over time. And are you good with time? And it's better than just looking at a clock, because looking at a clock, it's okay. But when you're looking at a timer, it's saying you've spent 52 minutes on this. You know it's got to be done in an hour. Wrap it up. As opposed to looking at, it's 55 minutes past 12, and you're like, maybe not. One of the things I do like about this is I set timers for the on work, and I set timers for the off work. So if I'm doing 30 minutes on a YouTube video, I might then take 10 minutes to just relax. So it might be, okay, you got 10 minutes, go and watch a YouTube video, you got 10 minutes to watch that, or go in your 10 minutes, go for a quick walk, or just chill out, look on your phone. But I time that too. So I time my relaxed work and my focused work. It really helps because it creates a game of it, and it stops you from over pendulum the other way. So, going like getting stuck in that doom scroll, which we all have, but it also stops you from getting too sucked into work and missing everything else. And I do find that really, really useful, because it can be very easy for anybody as a business owner, as a mortgage broker, to get sucked into, I need to do this case, it's going to take me 2 hours. No, it doesn't. Most mortgage cases can be done in about an hour, realistically. When you're really on it and you've got 3 screens and you're rocking and rolling and you know what you're doing, you can turn a case around in an hour in focused work. The problem is we're used to doing it in 2 hours, so we say it's 2 hours. You can do a discovery call now, you can do a case in an hour. Truth be told, I see it. I've got clients who do it. They turn a case around from discovery call, research, and packaging 3 hours easily. Hour for discovery call, hour for research, hour for packaging. That's probably about right. And you see people then go, oh, no, but I need 2 hours for research. No, you don't. If you do that, you've got a process problem. We need to fix the process problem once you're up and running. Brings on to number 6, which is eliminate, automate, and delegate. So these are the 3 things I would look at here. The first one is the cost of the task outweighs the benefit. If it does, then eliminate that. If it is repetitive and low effort, then automate it. And if it is not the best use of your time and can be done better by somebody else on your team, if you have a team, delegate it. So let's talk about them in a little bit more detail. So we've got the first one, which is the cost of the task outweighs the benefit, then eliminate it. So if you look at that and go, okay, I don't really need to do this. And if you actually spend some time analyzing it, you look and go, I don't really get much value from this. If you see that and you've got a trend of that, not just a feeling, but you actually got a trend of it, then get rid of that. There are lots of things that we do as advisors that are like doubling up on things, belt and braces job. And it's like, it's not necessarily useful at all. And I have stuff in mind. I have to do it all the time, audit this and go, okay, is it really worth me doing it? And a lot of the time, it's that bit of an endowment effect. Because we've done it, it's a little bit superstitious. We don't want to let go of it because we know we've done it and it's good and it's worked and what got us here. But the truth is, a lot of the time, we can just get rid of it and nothing changes. I remember that happening to me big time when I got ill. I got ill a few years ago, quite ill. And my business, I had to focus on like keeping the business running, but everything else was pretty bad. And so I had half the time available to be able to do anything. My business carried on moving. And I came away from that going, wow, I don't need to do half of the stuff I already do, which is where I stopped doing my interview podcasting. And I stopped doing, there's a lot of things that I stopped doing or started to plant the seed of maybe I don't necessarily need that right now. Looking at it with an elimination mindset can be really useful. And we don't do that enough. We really don't. Which is then also next one we have, which is if it's repetitive and low effort, then automate it. So if it's repetitive and low effort, automation, what I mean by automation, it can be automation through software, but it can be automation through a process, systemizing it. So I automate most of my content creation, but it's not automated by a computer. It's automated by me. I have workflows that I can go through and go, A, B, C, done that. That's automation. Automation gets a really fancy word where it's like, oh, we think about it as like computers, but really you can automate things by creating workflows around it. My YouTube videos have a very specific structure. My reels have a specific structure. The content flows from what I'm talking about here through to other pieces of content. There's an automation within it. So that is low effort. It doesn't require much effort once I can do that. Now, most of the time, people will spend a lot of time with their marketing doing, contextually relevant pieces each time. You're going to waste a lot of time on things that are just as powerful to just create some sort of automation for it. Same thing with why niching is very important, or with your cases or packaging. If you are packaging cases, there are things that you can automate and workflow and streamline so that you don't have to constantly keep doing them. Silly little things like copy and pasting. One of the things I do myself, I use like ergonomic mouses and keyboards, and what they do is they have programmable keys. So I have multiple different buttons on my mouse. If I press one, it does dictation. I press another one, it does copy and paste. Or another one, it selects all. I do another one, it does print screen. On my computer, I've got all my on my keyboard, I've got different emoji things because I use them for different keys of what people are doing. It's all programmed into my computer. Automation, very simple. Same with prompts. I use Apple technology, Apple computer, Apple devices. I use things like text replacement software that allows me to just write vid1 and my entire prompt for ChatGPT to turn this podcast into multiple pieces of content and scripts is just dropped in. So I just have to copy and paste. Really simple. What would take me about an hour takes me about a minute because it's really simple. So automating things that are low energy or low effort, that's important. And then the other one, which I've put here, which if it's not the best use of time, but can be done better by somebody else, then delegate to your team. If you don't have a team member, you don't have a power planner or a customer care kind of representative, then you can't delegate that. You just got to do it. But if you do, start looking at things that can be delegated that fall within their scope of service, of what they do, their role. Make sure that you look at that. Don't try and keep it all on your own because you will end up, one, being a bad boss because they want autonomy and they want the ability to be able to take responsibility. And two, they also, you also want to be able to do what you're paying them to do. Give them the job. You're paying them to do it. Delegate it. It's nothing worse than people who are micromanaging and think they can do everything and no one else can do anything. It's not like that. Not most of the time anyway. And then we have end your day with an after action review. So ask yourself these questions. And I do this after every single business day. I have an hour where I do this closing down the business, where I clear off all emails, I clear off any messages, and then I ask myself these questions. What did I accomplish today effectively? What could I have done better? And what should I adjust for tomorrow? I ask myself these questions every day. At the end of the day, I finish at my client at 6 and I have a 6 till 7 closing the day. The reason I do this is because it allows me to come into the next day prepared. It allows me to think. And that, by the way, would fall into like deep work. I'd probably class this as one of the deep work things, is I'm working on myself. I'm reflecting on what I did and I'm reflecting on how I could make it better. This is where those processes will start to be more clear. This is where, as an advisor, you'll start to notice, actually, I could have done better with this thing. I'm the client. That interaction was a bit messy there and a bit janky. I could have been better if I'd done X, Y, and Z. And so you start to identify the processes and the things that you go, okay, cool. Maybe I should get a template made for that. Maybe I should do this for that. These are the moments, reflecting on the day. I do find if you're trying to reflect during the day, it's much harder to do. Let's have a look how did it go? And if it was really good, there's always something I could improve on, as there always is. But if it's really good, win. Celebrate the win. If it was not very bad, celebrate the fact you got through it. You either learned something or you won. You were victorious, or you learned something, you got wiser. And I think that this is really useful. It's been a game changer for me. It's a game changer for anyone's productivity. It's small wins, but focusing on how you won the day. It's about winning the day. Always about winning the day and thinking how you can win the next day even more. Huge game changer. If you are ending the day and just slamming your laptop shut and running off into the house just because you've got to go make dinner and stuff, then you're not allowing yourself to decompress and also observe and reflect on how that day actually went. It's like an athlete watching game tape. You have to look back and go, okay, cool. Sometimes I will watch back discovery calls or client calls because I record them all. If I'm in that moment going, I don't know how I handled that one, or maybe didn't handle it very well, and I look back and go, did I? What did I say? And sometimes it's actually a lot better than I thought. Sometimes it's actually a lot worse than I thought. Are you doing the same for you? Because you're in sales. You should be looking at your discovery calls and having the recordings of them, especially if you're doing them through Zoom, which ideally you should be. If you're doing them through Zoom or Teams or something like that, having a Fathom recording software and looking back at them, one of them a day, just at the end of the day, just looking back at one you did that day and go, okay, cool. How did that go? Really beneficial, and then writing down those things of what did I accomplish today, what could I have done better, and what can I adjust for tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, check out this other one that's on screen right now. YouTube thinks you're going to absolutely love it. Go on, give it a click.